Ladies and gentlemen, I returned a couple of weeks ago from South Africa, from a high-level symposium on the green economy that brought together policymakers and practitioners. The practitioners who you see here were 35 seed awardees, startup social and environmental entrepreneurs, mainly from Africa, as part of a project supported by the European Union. While some are active in the fields of energy, others are looking at waste, others yet again are looking at agriculture and rural development, or at the conservation of biodiversity. Now, why do I start with showing you some faces? Because they share what I think is really a very fundamental human trait, the desire to help others and therefore to combat poverty. But it's not only that they share. They share a realization that for what they do to be sustainable, they have to acquire financial sustainability, not just in terms of grant funding, but in terms of sustainable finance. They have to understand the need to keep going through thick and thin, and there's a lot of that. And they share the idea that by working at the local level, they can help to find solutions to local problems in a way which matches the prevailing circumstances. So these are some of the faces of the green economy at the local level. These are entrepreneurs working across all sectors and working to a triple bottom line: social, economic, and environmental. It's an approach which is radically different from the conventional business model. And bit by bit, fortunately, it is moving closer to center stage. While we hear that the MDG on halving the number of people in extreme poverty has been met, we can't afford to get carried away by the glow of success. It still leaves the other half. It still leaves an unconscionable number of people in poverty. Without sustainable energy, without access to energy, we will not achieve sustainable development and the Millennium Development Goals. This is the International Year of Sustainable Energy, part of the UN Secretary-General's Sustainable Energy for All. It's a push that's desperately needed. Nearly 1.5 billion people without access to electricity, 2.7 billion relying on the traditional use of biomass. There are many examples of grassroots entrepreneurs delivering energy at the local level. Solar and hand rechargeable lamps, energy kiosks to charge up mobile phones, various solar devices such as a seed winner that devised a solar cooker, which is not only a cooker, but also generates electricity and provides a source of heating. And all of those are going to help people to find additional spaces to generate their own additional incomes, their livelihoods, and so to become more self-sufficient. Putting together the green economy, which is looking at social equity, is looking at human well-being and the responsible management of environment, and access to energy should really provide a surefire answer to combating poverty. But it's yet to happen at scale, and we need to ask why. much attention is being given to the high policy drivers, the question of investment in high-tech solutions, corporate social responsibility programs, investment opportunities. But what we should remember is that the engine of the global economy are the small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises. And so we have to ask, what is their role in the green economy? How can we engage with them? And how can we learn from the lessons which have already been learnt by those pioneers of the 21st century economy, the social and environmental entrepreneurs? In the OECD, small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises account for 55% of GNP. They constitute 90% of all businesses, and they provide 65% of employment. They operate on the basis of a single financial bottom line. The greater the profit, the more successful the business. A proportion of those SMEs, the small, micro, medium-sized enterprises, are social businesses, cooperatives, foundations, social enterprises. And there is a slowly increasing number of those, possibly a response to the failures of the global economy 4 or 5 years ago, possibly to the alarming evidence of what the impacts of climate change are going to be, possibly a result of the depletion of natural resources, or simply a desire to help communities. Then we have the extra special SMMEs, the social and environmental entrepreneurs that Seed, World Bank Development Marketplace, Ashton Awards are trying to help. All of these are operating at the local level. Many are delivering innovative services and products, but we need many, many more if we're going to combat poverty. And if we can get to that, then maybe they will act as a source of inspiration for other businesses. Maybe they can start to set standards and display to consumers just what the business can create in addition to pure wealth creation. So the question is, what factors play a role in determining whether social and environmental enterprises can emerge? Over the past couple of years, Seed conducted a study of nearly 800 startup enterprises across the globe to try and uncover the internal and external enabling factors and barriers. The sorts of things that we looked at were leadership and partners, access to technology, business planning and skills, financing, marketing, awareness raising, the involvement of the local and international organizations, and of research partners. We looked at the skills that are available in the community and the availability of government programs for community and enterprise development and business regulation. And importantly, we looked at the issue of gender. Not surprisingly, many of those enterprises struggle with finance. This was hardly an unexpected finding. But the problem that they face is that microcredit is going so far. The higher level of investment, which has traditionally been used, is not coming down far enough. So in contrast to the situation in most developed countries, in developing countries, you find what's come to be known as the missing middle. There is simply a lower number of small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises which can play such a valuable role in the fact that they are based at community level, they can be flexible, they are very often the most innovative of all. So, bit by bit, there is attention being given to this missing middle and the creation of innovative financing mechanisms. Social stock exchanges are starting to be explored. But it's still in the very early stages. And even then, even if that finance situation is improved, we need to look at other aspects that the SEED study has thrown up. Skills development, not only for the enterprises themselves, but also for the communities in which they work. Access to technology and research partners. That's a very, very crucial element of the mix. These startup enterprises often innovate. They need others to help them to innovate further, to develop their product or their service, or to monitor. Sometimes research institutes are looking for members of the business community to try out their ideas. It's a very important link. They need monitoring and enforcement of environmental laws and regulations so as to help to stimulate the demand, and helping to promote local level public environmental awareness. There's also the question of planning. If you are setting up a social and environmental enterprise, you've got to be able to show that you've reached your social goals and reached your environmental targets. That's something which we think could be built in to some of the international programs. All of those have to go hand in hand. You need the finance, you need the skills development, you need all the things that I've just talked about. Time is not on our side. The impacts of climate change, resource depletion, are really ticking. The time that it takes to reach global and regional agreements is long, as we see in the climate sphere. That's the situation on the one hand. On the other, what we do have are the innovative local communities. There's no shortage of ideas, of people working at the local level and keen to be part of the green economy. They are coming up with ways of supplying off-grid communities with energy, developing new solar products, and converting local agricultural waste into energy to save natural biomass. An additional feature that is crucial with these sorts of enterprises is that they're helping to build social resilience. Community structures, community organizations, as well as providing jobs. So the question that was posed, can renewable energy, energy security, and smart green technology be used as a component for development in developing countries? The answer has to be a resounding yes, but it's going to take targeted action to get down to the grassroots level. I started with some of the faces of the green economy. It seems appropriate to finish with faces of the green economy. As we head up towards Rio +20, just 2 months away now, what we need are concerted actions by actors from all stakeholder groups to look at putting incentives into place, for putting enabling factors into place to allow these sorts of entrepreneurs to emerge, to grow, and to inspire others to follow, so that we have a groundswell of action moving in the direction of this triple bottom line. Thank you.